through COGTA to build a technical capacity that will support municipalities. If we are to do what COGTA argued, to avert the withdrawal of conditional grants or the movement of conditional grants from one district to the other, we do need to build a capacity. We identified three first municipalities. And we said it is Ugu district, Umkhanyakude, and Umzinyathi. And that was based on scientific evidence on the spending of those 3 districts with regard to conditional grants. But we equally said we will need eThekwini as the metro to meet with the provincial government on the issue of human settlement programs. And that should be expedited, and we need to pay attention to that. We are confronted with a demand of rebuilding the city of Umsunduze. And we are saying we need to rebuild it. And I'm sure that the Executive Council will be interested in knowing what is happening from COGTA, OTP, and Treasury. I'm mentioning these 3 because they were at some point mandated to intervene. We cannot always claim to be derailed or to have been derailed by COVID-19. Yes, it had impact. It derailed a number of programs. Some officials could not be at the office to work. We also lost some of our colleagues in the fight against COVID-19. So the capacity of the state was impacted on, but it doesn't need to be an excuse. We therefore need to ensure that we are in sync on one point: implementation and decisive implementation. We have also suffered a blow on the state of the economy, and therefore we need to respond with radical economic transformation program. I think this platform has been very, very powerful in terms of the plans. And how do we centralize the coordination of the plans on stimulating economy and creating jobs? Will need to be an ongoing discussion. And I'm very sorry that this is a point we're not going to compromise. We're not going to compromise on this. This is one of the demands that we must meet. So, if we are to tilt the current challenges and the current difficulties as we build the capacity to deliver water, reprioritize budget to meet these basic needs, we must equally identify key sectors of the economy, reprioritize and fund those sectors. We need to ensure that we create an environment that attracts investment and make businesses, both big and small, to thrive and prosper. Job creation has been highlighted in various presentations and even from various research institutions. The burden of unemployment is concentrated among young people and women in particular. Having defined the problems, we must provide solutions as the government and mobilize the private sector through the social compact. And I think those who are in the economic cluster must bear with us. must really begin to work in a manner that says we have no liberty and we have no freedom, and we cannot spend on everything. And I think we were clear on sectors that we need to stimulate. We're clear on manufacturing, growing SEZs, including automotive supply park, growing the textile industry, and fast-tracking the implementation of the SEZ on clothing and textile. Positioning and radically pushing KwaZulu-Natal to be the hub for agriculture production, with clear practical interventions in supporting and moving those who are in subsistence farming to commercial farming, and ensure that the province take over and open the space of agro-processing, and ensure that through agri-hubs, we create space for small-scale farmers to make meaningful benefit through this platform of agri-hubs. So the agri-hubs on their own are not the key. They are key, but they are entirely linked in the value chain. So if agriculture sits and plan, it must begin to say most of our resources must go on mechanization, must go on supporting farmers, ordinary farmers, on livestock farming, must then go on the establishment of the agri-hubs. So other things will follow, but these strategic interventions are key. We've identified our weakness on the issue of the green economy, ocean economy. The earlier discussions of the Executive Council needs to be taken forward. Development of the port must be prioritized. But there are subsectors of this ocean economy that needs to be stimulated. And among that is the whole issue of aquaculture for small entrepreneurs, but feeding in a platform that is being created by government. Among that, in terms of the long term, is the whole issue of small ports development, building on what we've realized, the cruise terminal, but also ocean transportation for goods and for passengers. Young people are so innovative. In recent weeks, I met someone who said to me is dreaming that one day there will be a public transport from Richards Bay to Durban, but not on the road, going through from the port to another port. This is the kind of innovation that young people are dreaming of, entirely not impossible, happening in other countries right now. And these are things that we must begin to explore. Now we walk up to the issues today, positive and negative. Walk up to the fact that some people in Uku don't have water key, and the speed we will employ in addressing those complaints, as captured in Daily Maverick, will determine the responsiveness of this government. And therefore, we have to urgently work to resolve the issues of water in Uku, in Umkhanyagute, and support all other districts. But equally, we walk up to the demands of the private sector that are very positive and promising, demanding that we should move together and in partnership. This is a call to a practical social compact and we need not to miss that opportunity. We need to extend hand and ensure that we work with the private sector. Yesterday, we took part in pre-SOPA listening campaign. The people are active, hopeful, and practical. The main issue they raised is the whole issue of jobs, infrastructure, which relate to roads and water. But for the first time, we had a number of calls about connectivity. And I think the presentation that was made here around the issue of broadband needs our urgent and utmost attention. So we do need to change the way we do things. Many people look at this province from a perspective of challenges we face. We must therefore change the narrative and reposition the province to be known for opportunities it creates and the successes it is making in crucial areas of socio-economic development. If we execute with military precision, we can change and dent unemployment, win the battle against crime, and turn around the water challenges that we are facing as the province. We must be a capable state that is fit to drive transformative agenda. Thus, we have agreed on key priorities. Firstly, we agree that we will unleash all efforts we have to attract investment, facilitate re-industrialization in the province, to address youth unemployment and reignite rural and township economy. We said we will focus on the quality education, and the quality education should meet and provide learners with skills for industries of the future. We said all our healthcare facilities must be pushed to meet the ideal standards, in that they must be patient-friendly, with adequate medicine, clean, and opening on time. We said we will demand and ensure that human settlement as an immediate priority. We will have to fast-track urban renewal project, title deed, and increase service sites, and a rapid land release program. We said we're going to ensure dedicated and impactful approach to fight and reduce crime, eliminate crime hotspots in the province. And after receiving the detailed master plan on agriculture and agri-processing, we said this is one key area that has a potential to create jobs, especially for unemployed. And I think we've been clear on what are industries that has a potential to create jobs. It's infrastructure, it's agriculture and agro-processing in particular, and clothing and textile, in a massive way. I'm emphatic on this so that we are all together, because we get preoccupied by many things, and it is important that in whatever we do, we select few that will be impactful. While very little of our deliberation dwell on climate change, we nevertheless need to work around the issue of environmental challenges that we face. And I think there was a presentation, part of the presentation in that regard, on disaster management. And therefore, we need attention on that. OTP, Treasury and Economic Development will lead us in the engagement with SETA in terms of cost of doing business, in terms of services they are providing, but also the whole issue of ICT and access to connectivity need to be driven with speed. This is a cross-cutting function, transversal. It affects almost all departments. And therefore, planning and coordinating together will be important. We also agree that the JCPS cluster, with their presentation, will need us to deploy all necessary resources to support their plan, but also to take up issues with national government where it need be. And therefore, this has been a very fruitful platform. This Lekgotla gathered the team leading the province, and we must know what is the meaning of that. Let us use our skills, energies to make real impact. So we said we're going to upscale monitoring and evaluation. But that will not be just ordinary monitoring. That is about ticking box. But it will be about the impact that is felt by ordinary people at the end. So we look upon all of us to ensure that we pay undivided attention and maximum effort to ensure the implementation of all resolutions we have taken. And we call on all of us to mobilize people behind the plan we have crafted today. We are called to serve the people. This call is a call to rebuild trust between us as government and the citizens of the people. I therefore wish to thank all of you for your participation, contributions. Let us continue to vaccinate. We have received good news that the rate, I don't know whether this good news ought to be reported here or they are better kept aside. We have received good news that the rate of vaccination is improving in the province. And that needs to be commended, but supported. I see many people are clapping hands. We must continue to encourage people to vaccinate. We must continue to encourage people to vaccinate, but it is not enforcement. It is a responsibility of each and every citizen. We must continue to ensure that we participate in activating communities, to be active in community structures, and to participate in deepening democracy and the transformation agenda. Once again, we want to thank all of you, including our districts, for participating, district and the metro, for participating in this Lekgotla. We thank you, colleagues. We are at a stage where we are closing the meeting. Let's therefore close with prayer and once again request MEC, MEC Social Development, MEC Khoza, to lead us in the closing prayer.
Sicela uNkulunkulu ongcwele usiqobele, unqoba izibhamu ezikhona emphakathini, vala imilomo yalezo zibhamu Thixo Lungile, kunciphe ukubulalana, andisa-ke uthando sesiphuma Thixo Lungile. Sicela sibonge egameni likaNkulunkulu uJesu. Amen.
Siyabonga. Thank you. Once again, to Sihle. Thanks.